All right, guys. So this is what the situation is. We are putting the headers on. The headers, there's a few issues. We knew there was gonna be. I mean, you know, they're $100 headers. The thing about it is, even if they were $1,200 headers, they would still leak, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so this goes for M54, M52tu, also anything in double vanos. The single vanos cars, M52, don't have this issue. And as you can see here, I'll get a better shot. The gasket, you know, you have what, 12 holes in it, but the cylinder head does not have 12 holes in it, right? So let me find the other gasket. I'll be able to show you a little better. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. Couldn't find another gasket. It'd been easier, but I think it's in the trunk of the E39. Here's the factory manifold. As you notice, there is no hole there, no hole there, no hole there, and no hole there. So with the headers, you have a span of that far, which I'm really surprised these don't leak. A span of this far with no bolt. And you can see the header gasket, which is also, you know, place is a freaking train wreck. So, you know, there is that. So, off the bat, can you install these headers with the cylinder head on the car? Well, you can, but it's going to leak. And that's what the consensus was of everybody in the feedback section of the eBay ads of all these headers. They all leaked right there, no matter what they did. So I've dealt with a lot of headers on V8s in the past, back when I was a Chevy guy, back when I was dumb, didn't know any better, had Corvettes all the time. This is a constant issue. They had, you know, a bolt on each side and so forth. So what we have to do is this. We have to drill and tap the holes. Actually, I do two things. We'll come back. And to drill and tap the holes, the head studs are a crazy size. And you think, oh, I could just go to Lowe's and find that, no problem. Well, no, you can't. That size is M7. And nobody has M7 stuff. They have M6 and M8. Every other bolt on this car is a 1.50 thread pitch or a 1.25 thread pitch. Most of them are 1.50. Anyhow, I went to our farm store. They didn't have nothing. I went to Lowe's. That was a waste of time. I went to Menards. Menards had the tap and bits that I need. And this is a 7mm by 1. 1 is the thread pitch. Okay? So I got 2 taps. They were like $2.39 a piece. Vermont, America, yeah, they're cheap, but we're only drilling aluminum and tapping aluminum. So I just did 1 hole. It worked perfect. The stud screwed in perfect. And that also uses a 15/64 or a 5.95mm drill bit, which they also had. So I got 2 of those, and what I did here, when I drilled them, I stuck my little pick in one of the holes, and then I marked it, and I got the depth of the hole. Then I put tape on my bit, measured the depth on the bit, so I know how far to drill in. Now the biggest trick at this is to make sure you hold it, I mean, you're not going to get perfect, make sure you hold it pretty level. A lot of drills will have a level on top. You kind of get your left and right, and use that for up and down. Whatever have you, I don't know. It's probably better off not to use a level on the drill because the engine is not level on the stand. So we have about, I think it was, what, 8 holes to drill between these 2. And that's how we're going to do it. And this bit went right through it like it was butter. So 1 down, 7 more to go. Now, there's a couple more things. And make sure, if you have the engine out of the car, like this, 1, you put the engine mount on before you permanently bolt the headers on, which I have it right here. I'm going to do that. Otherwise, the headers are in the way of that top bolt. 2, you can notice here, there's a couple things you probably notice. These are cut in between here. And that's an old trick of headers to do that, especially when you have 4 bolts on each pipe. Now we could bolt those down using those gaskets, and you're not going to get any warpage, you know, because the piece of metal is only that big at this point. It's not a whole big giant long piece, and that's going to guarantee you're not going to have any issues in the future. Okay, so we'll have to do it to the other header yet. The other header is not cut yet, but you see that with the grinder with the cutoff wheel, you can see it's all one piece. I know that's no good, no good. So that'll fix that. I need to dig around here in my boxes. I have a bunch more studs. If you don't have extra studs laying around, you probably need to get some. Anyhow, you know, it's a block off plate where the secondary air valve is supposed to go. As you guys know, in these cars, secondary air valve is right here. That goes right there. That has a plastic accordion hose. I can't even show you in this one, it's not in the right car, but it goes from basically right there down under the bumper on the E39. On the E46, the pump is up here, the secondary air pump. E39 is behind the bumper. That goes down to the secondary air pump. And in theory, that is on cold start, blows air through the catalytic converter for some bizarre, freaking strange reason that they think that's going to save that catalytic converter. Okay, well, we're going to delete all that stuff, and we're not going to have a check engine light. Let me tell you why that is. Let me put you on the old tripod here. Put you on the stand. Let me tell you why that is. So in Europe, I have a good friend that's in Europe. They don't have secondary air pump. They don't have rear oxygen sensors, but they have catalytic converters. There's no issue. So I could code off the rear oxygen sensors, the secondary air pump, all of that, and it'll be okay with running no converter or a different converter or whatever you want, right? We're gonna go even a step further than that. My good friend has the tune that's on his car, the actual European tune, which is 231 horsepower. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what it is. It makes it 231 brake horsepower. I don't remember if that was wheel or flywheel horse. I can't remember. At any rate, it ups the power quite a bit. We're going to tune the E39 to that with these headers. We'll probably leave we're going to leave the air box on it. I'll go ahead and put another cleanable filter, like a K&N basically, in the factory air box. We'll run that on there. That car should be running pretty good with that tune, with that setup. The rear oxygen sensors, if you're going to run those with these headers, and you see a lot of guys buying the big 90-degree adapter. So since we're not going to run the rears, I'm just going to go ahead and we'll put a little something on there, and we'll torque that down, and then we're just going to run these, which is the fronts, and that's it. It should be real easy. Let me see here. Let me show you all the parts I got. Alright, so we have our, I call it Phoebe, it's Febby Bilstein. We have our cold, I might have already showed you guys this in the past video. We have our cold weather kit for the CCV, and they have these all wrapped up now for the cold weather version in like insulating foam, which is going to do nothing, but it looks cool. I'll try to find a link for this in the description for Amazon. I don't know, and I'm working on an eBay affiliate store because a lot of this stuff we'll put in the Amazon store. If you guys buy it, I'll get a couple bucks out of it. It helps the cause a little bit. Gives me a backup income if YouTube crashes out one day, which it probably will. I'm not overnight have no income, so that's giving us a backup on the channel. eBay does the same thing. I think even Walmart does the same thing. And then we have all the other hoses. They're all insulated in these, all have foam around them. So we have the full set. We're not going to put this on until after the engine's in the car. So there's that. And then we got these boots at the dealer. I think they're off of, I can't even remember. I think these are off Amazon. If they're off Amazon, I'll put the link in the description. They were $29 a piece, I believe. But look at the squish factor to that. And we got both of them. The other ones are all rotten and ripped up. Remember, if you're replacing these boots, the 3.0 is different than the 2.5 or 2.8. The 2.5 and 2.8 have a smaller diameter. The mass airflow sensor is different and everything. So there is that. Next up, just like I told you guys we're going to do, the power steering on that E39 is pretty, actually haven't opened all this up yet. It's open in the box, didn't even look in it. So we have our power steering reservoir, because that has a filter in the bottom and those always tend to leak. So we have a new one of those. I can't remember what brand these are, to be honest with you. But we'll put a link for those in the description too. And then the two lines. So we have the return line, which is always hard and rotten coming out of that tank. And then we have the hard line, which I believe, I can't remember where this one went. This went into the cooler, into the radiator. So this is all the lines. There's one real long line that loops. It wasn't leaking, so we didn't replace it. This was not that much. This is like 30 bucks for this power steering kit. I think the normal price on that, the Febi Bilstein CCV valve was like 60 or 70 bucks. It's pretty steep. No, I'm sorry, that was off. I got this off eBay. I try to find a link for it. They're like 60, 70 bucks. If you get a name brand one of these, in theory, the chance of rupturing the diaphragm is a lot lower, but still not guaranteed. So it's just a few of the parts, what's going on here. We're spooling up to get this header situation solved up tonight. That's the plan anyway. It shouldn't take long to fit that up. We'll have to vac all the shavings up off of it, put the engine mount on. Once we do that, you know, there's really not a whole lot else. I think this, so that pulley or that pulley's got to be replaced. We already switched to our metal water pump. Probably can't see, it's dark. We switched to our bare thermostat. The valve cover is on. The valve cover, we put a little bit of the right stuff on it when we put it on, because I know these tend to leak if you don't do that. You can see a little bit sticking out right there. Like I said, we have our block off, our OEM block off plate for the air pump. Be careful on buying those. They try to sell you one for a diesel, but it has to be for this engine. The diesel ones are a little too big. A lot of people are bitching about that. That one fits perfect. It was like 20 bucks for a little piece of aluminum. I could have made something myself, but it is what it is. And before we let you go, on the headers for E39, the long side, it's clocked wrong. I took that to the machine shop. He cut me out a spacer for it. So this will run like this. And then once I put the engine in the car, I could trace it out, and the other flange will be turned 180 from it. And then this will let me trace that on there, and then I could cut it out or take it back to the machine shop. They can cut it out. They're probably going to have to make me a spacer for the short side too, just a regular spacer, because it lines up. And basically the $100 header is going to cost me $50 more, so 150 bucks total to do headers. It's still not bad. It's really not bad. But remember, if you buy these, I'll say it one last time, I'll let you guys go. We're babbling on and on and on. You cannot put those on in the car. There's no way to drill those holes. No way possible you'd ever get them straight in the car. So if you're going to do headers on M54 and you don't want them to leak, you, one, need to take the cylinder head off. Two, if you have means, it's probably easier just to take the engine out and do this while you're in here. And then of course what we're going to do, we put a new oil pan gasket on it. We're going to put a new rear main on it. And that's it. These headers fixed, man. Put the rear main in, put the flex plate back on. I think we're ready to shovel this bad boy in. It won't take me long to put that in there at all. And we're still flashing stuff to this thing. That'll be done. And that's it, guys. I appreciate all you guys watching. I know these videos, if you're not familiar with this stuff, are going to be boring as hell. You know, we're not out pulling pranks on people or appealing to kids. We're appealing to 20 to 40 year olds or 20 to 45 year old guys. So If you want to keep seeing videos, please do your part. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Watch the videos. That helps out the channel a lot. Put out a lot of information on this channel, a lot of good stuff. Thank you guys all very much for watching. We'll be back soon, and be back with a live stream soon if we get the internet fixed. That's it, guys. See you later.